How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Manor Lords, and welcome back to our new settlement, where things are going pretty well. I've got to be honest, we do need more burgage plots, and we do need more people, but as it stands, we're sitting on 20 months of food, we are sitting on 6 months of fuel, we have some livestock, we have some money, and I think that's sort of what we're going to continue to do, is try to expand things and see if we can level up this little settlement, because we are currently working towards becoming a small town, which is going to require some level 3 burgage plots. And to get a level 3 burgage plot, there's a few things we need. We need a tavern and we need a level 2 church. Now the church, let's be honest, the church is going to be kind of easy, because to upgrade this guy, I mean, we just need roof tiles. Now, we are going to need roof tiles for level 3 burgage plots as well. I think it's 4 of them per plot, if I'm not mistaken. It is. So what we could do is we could come over to the trading post. We can say, let's do some trading. Let's buy the route for the roof tiles. And I'm going to import these guys, and we're going to say that we want a surplus of 20. So basically, we can upgrade the church pretty much immediately. And then if we have that surplus, we can hopefully upgrade 5 of the level 2 burgage plots into level 3 burgage plots. But that is going to need a tavern before we make that happen. So there's a few things that we're going to need to do before we can get to the point where we have a tavern for this space. Well, not before we have a tavern for the space, before we have tavern supply for the space. Getting the tavern's easy, it's just 5 timber, and I'm kind of thinking it could go basically right about here. I think that would be a decent spot for it. Although it's very tempting to try and make it look nice. I know I don't need to make it look nice, but it's very tempting to do that. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get myself a little road that just goes across this way. And I think this will be a pretty, in fact, you know what? I'm going to bring a road up here first. This seems like a bit of a better idea. So we'll go something like this, and that'll be just fine. We'll build it right about there. I'm going to go something a little bit like this, just straight across there, and that'll be just fine as well. And I want to put the tavern on that road because I just think it's going to look good. I'm also going to turn off snap to roads so I can hopefully get it nice and central, which it looks like that will be. So right about there is where I think I want the tavern to be. And then at the back of this guy, I mean, I can sort of get a road across here, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I think what we'll do is just put a road something like that. It kind of loops around the corner, and that'll be fine. So that's where the tavern's going to live. And what we can also do is bulldoze this marketplace, which I know is going to make my people a little bit unhappy. But once they grab all of those supplies, I'm just going to rebuild it in that space. So we're going to have a tavern with a little market right in front of it, a little road running alongside of it. And then what we could also do, just as long as we're not getting too close to the berries, is we could build a little road something like this, I think. And then just curve it across and over to the corner for the tavern right about there. And that's going to be space for more burgage plots, which means obviously we can go ahead and get more people in here. So we'll do something like this just the entire way around. That's going to be 6 new burgage plots. We'll go ahead and get that built. And then these guys are, I suppose, probably going to be eggs or goats. Let's be honest, that's most likely what those are going to be, which is completely fine. Now, something to keep in mind is that all of the market stalls we just got rid of are going to come down here and start filling up this little marketplace, which is completely fine. I am going to be looking to try and max out the amount of people working in the storehouse and in the granary today, so we'll get market stalls from those. We will also get market stalls, hopefully, from the trading post as well. And that actually reminds me, let's just double check our trade at the moment. So we're importing roof tiles. We are not doing anything with crops. We are not doing anything with food either. Although, to be honest, we could. We could look at exporting eggs for a little bit of bonus money. I don't think we need to, though. We are not doing anything with leather. And then commodities, we're not really doing anything there either. We could probably start to increase our shoe production. That might not be a bad idea. We do have a tannery here with 2 people working. If we got another person working in there and a bunch more goats, we could probably play around with that really nicely and have it be a really good source of income. But then if we look at military, we are still exporting war bows. We are still exporting the small shields as well. The only problem, I suppose, oh wait, no, we have 179 planks. We are doing just fine. So I guess what we'll do is take someone out of the forester's hut and we'll get them over working on all sorts of construction. I think I want the burgage plots to be slightly higher priority so that we can have people move in here a little bit sooner than later. Hopefully we can move all of these supplies around at some point as well. They are going to be sitting there and running away to nothing. It does look like we have some people coming by and picking things up, but hopefully they can figure all of that out so that we don't end up in a bad situation here. But there we go. We have this burgage plot done. Let's go ahead and prioritize this one as well. In fact, I'm just going to make all of these a high priority so they get done before the tavern, so that, you know, again, we start to see this. We start to see more people moving in. And there we go. We have ourselves a few more burgage plots, which is absolutely wonderful. We've got a bunch of supplies still sitting around here, which is considerably less wonderful. We also have the tavern coming together, which, I mean, they threw that thing up really quickly. That was kind of impressive how quickly they've just built that thing. I'm not going to complain about it though. That's great. The only problem is we don't have a malt house, which is where we're going to be making the ale for the tavern. So if we go into industry, we can get ourselves a malt house, and this guy is going to live basically, well, I'm slightly tempted to put it behind the tavern just for convenience. That might actually be a pretty good idea. Just put it right back here, you know, just right next to the tavern and be like, yeah, the supply is right there. Could put it at the back of these houses as well. I mean, it could go in the forest a little bit. I think just at the back of the tavern makes the most sense. I just don't know if the game, I mean, you know, are we going to have people come over and try to take the ale into, or the malt or whatever, into storage? I really have no idea, to be honest with you. It is obviously worth mentioning that we do also need a brewery extension to a level 2 burgage plot. So even if we build the malt house at the back, then the stuff has to come down to the brewery. So I think what we'll do is upgrade this burgage plot to level 2. I think just for the sake of convenience, we'll build the malt house just out here, so it's next to all of the rest of my production, and it's also close to the farmhouse, and it's close to the storehouse, which is not where the barley is. It is also not in the granary. Do we have barley right now? We don't. We should? Well, actually, I say that we should. We only have 4 farmers and we have about 1 million fields, so maybe we should is more like wishful thinking than it is anything else. So you know what? We're probably fine. We probably shouldn't have barley right now. I'll tell you what I will do though. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get myself some goat sheds on these burgage plots here, because my thinking is basically max out the amount of leather production, max out shoes production, make sure that my people have shoes, and then just export whatever we're not actually using. That's sort of my thinking. So if we go into trade and we go into materials, leather, I'm not interested in trading, but commodities, shoes, 192, establish that trade route. We're going to export anything above a surplus of, I'm going to say a surplus of 30, because we're never going to need a surplus of shoes is different to a supply. I'm still sort of working this out, but my theory here and my thinking is that we can supply my people with shoes, right? That's easy enough to do. The surplus is what we have extra. So basically, if I go and build a bunch of burgage plots, there will be enough shoes in storage for those people to immediately get shoes, right? I don't know if that's exactly how it works. I should by this point, but I don't know if that's exactly how it works. It's not the end of the world. We'll figure it out. Now, let's also get ourselves a brewery extension to this burgage plot, because it's going to be great right next to the tavern. Hopefully, it's a very big hopefully, but hopefully that's going to be just a direct supply of ale into the tavern. Also looks like the malt house is done, which is great news. Now the question is, are we going to have, I mean, we have a lot of fields that are set up with barley in mind. I don't think any of them have barley this year, which is completely fine, but a few of them have barley coming up next year, which 43%, that's pretty great. 38% is fine. 46%, 39 in that one, 40%. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll manage to make that work. So I'm not super concerned about it. Also, the tannery, let's get another person working in there. They do want a market area for the stall. I'm waiting on these supplies being moved before I build another market area. I know they're getting frustrated here, but I kind of need these supplies to go away because this is sort of the ideal spot for a market. I could just build 2 markets. I could just build a little one off to the side here on this side and then build another one. And I just want one big market, you know, it's just easier. So if they wouldn't mind grabbing those eggs and grabbing those carrots, it would be really appreciated. Oh, there we go. It looks like they are finally picking it all up, which is great news. So now we can go in, we can go to marketplace. I want this to basically be the front of it. And that gives us, what is that, 21 market stalls by the looks of it. I'm sort of okay with that. It looks like we could get more though. We could get 27, which I want to say that's probably excessive. I want to say that's probably too many. I kind of want it to look nice as well. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's what we're gonna go for. That's probably as good as we're gonna get. So we're gonna build this as our new market. I would imagine we're gonna see some stalls pop up in here pretty quickly, which is completely fine. And then this should provide supplies to everyone in this space. We can build up this way a little bit further as well, which I'm excited to do. And I think it looks good, right? It looks pretty good. You come out of the tavern, you're absolutely hammered. You think you need a new pair of shoes. You go buy a new pair of shoes. You wake up in the morning, you're sober, but at least, you know, you've got a hangover as well. It's absolutely killing you, but you've got a nice new pair of shoes at the bottom of the bed. That's my thinking here. Yeah. It's, you know, it's the medieval version of browsing Amazon while drunk. It's really, really dangerous. I'm speaking sort of from experience in that one. It's a really risky gamble, just browsing Amazon after a few drinks. Let me tell you, I have done that more times than I care to admit, especially on payday. That's even worse. It's like, man, I just got paid, got all this money. You know what I need? Another microphone. That's what I need. That's a recurring problem for me. I don't do it anymore, but when I was a bit younger, I used to I would get paid and immediately go and look at like Amazon or look at, there's a website called Tolman, which is like I think it's a German retailer that does like a lot of music equipment, and that includes microphones, obviously includes guitars as well. It's a really dangerous website for me to browse. Anyway, this, if it wasn't obvious, this is going to be more space for burgage plots. I think what we'll go ahead and do is just immediately try and fill this space in with a bunch of burgage plots, which honestly, that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and build that immediately. It's 8 new plots. Right here is going to be hopefully something decent as well. I don't like what it's doing with those side plots. So we'll go for this. And it's still a little bit nasty. Can I get something that looks a little bit better than that? That's a bit better. So we'll do 2 plots right there. Can I get this to behave? Not really. All right. Can I get it to behave now? Not really. Okay. I don't like that layout. That's sort of my problem. This is just 1 burgage plot as well. Maybe we just do a larger individual plots. What if I did? No. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That was the wrong button. Hold on a minute. That's that was absolutely not what I wanted. Let's just bulldoze those guys. I know it doesn't matter what they look like, but I want them to look a certain way, you know? It's important to me. So we'll do this, and then we'll make it smaller. That's okay. That's perfect, actually. So there we go. That'll be a bunch more burgage plots. There'll be a bunch more people. We actually have a drought coming through right now, which is a bit of a worry. You can tell there's a drought because the ground has gone all sort of yellowy. So that's basically why we need to get our hands on this guy. We need to get irrigation because all of my crops are going to be dying this year, which is a major, major problem. Although, I mean, if the next upgrade could be bakeries, I guess. Yeah, I think the bakery extension is probably going to be my next one. I think it has to be. And I mean, it's not like we have any barley. Maybe we should just import ale. Maybe that's something we do. We import ale until we're making it. 240 for that line. I think we will, because if I go and say I want to import, 10 of it, it's 180 gold to import. It's going to be very expensive to maintain. But it should mean that we'll get tavern supply and church level. And because I've set things up, I can upgrade the church already. So we'll do that. We'll get the tavern supply. We'll get the level 3 burgage plots. We'll level this place up. We'll get more families. And then we can hopefully get irrigation. We can hopefully get the bakeries. And then I think at some point, if we do stick with this save game a little bit longer, which I will say my time's kind of limited with this save because access to the build of the game that I have right now, it isn't indefinite. It will go away. So I don't know if I'm going to get to do everything I want to do with this save, but my thinking was that at some point I really want to get my hands on this rich iron deposit because I think that would be kind of amazing for making more tools and things like that, especially if we were to specialize into the tech tree that gives us this guy, deep mining. We can indefinitely extract resources in a rich deposit. So basically infinite iron. And if we combine that with just how renewable the forests happen to be, we can make a bunch of spears. We can export those constantly. It would be amazing. I don't know if we're going to get there on this save, which is completely fine. I'm well aware my days with this save are a little bit numbered. That's completely okay. I'm actually really looking forward to trying a hard mode run of Manor Lords at some point in the near future. So we'll see how that goes. We'll deal with it if and when that comes around. But I think for now we'll focus on what we've got here. So let's get someone working in the tavern. I think that's going to be kind of important. Let's also go ahead and prioritize construction, which is already there for the new church. And let me also get myself a new stable, because I think logistics are sort of a big deal. And I think we want to do good stuff with that. So let me get myself a little stable. I guess on this corner, I don't really know what else I'd put in this space, to be honest with you. I was sort of thinking that I would maybe put some houses and stuff back here behind the church, but I don't know if I need to. I'm kind of liking the idea of just building along this road. Although I really don't know if I want to take out all this forest. I suppose I could bring this little road sort of down and around a little bit, and then we'll build the forest in around the houses. I guess we'll figure it out, is what we'll do. For now, it's just going to be this one main road, and that's completely fine. I guess in terms of a hitching post, we could do back here, because that would definitely be an option. In fact, let me do a little something like this. So we'll line you up to about there. Can I get a hitching post in that space? Is that going to be an option? Is it going to be a little bit cluttered? I think it's going to be a little bit cluttered, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame, but you know what? We'll just put it on. I might just put it on the other side. I might also put because we only have 5 months of fuel, I might also put a woodcutter out here and just start chopping down this forest. I'd need a forester as well. I do like to renew those things, but I think that's maybe what we're going to do here. So let's get a hitching post. I think that's a great idea. Let's get ourselves a woodcutter's lodge, and let me turn off snap to roads so I can get you to play really nicely and line up really nicely with the existing roads. So I want you to be right about there. And then can I get a forester's hut in this space? Is it going to be too big as well? It is. Can I rotate it? No. Okay. So the forester can go on this side, and that'll be completely fine as well. So we'll build you, I want to say, right about there. And I think that'll be a nice little trio. We can upgrade the hitching post to a stable. We can get more ox in here so that logistics is a little bit better. And we do have 7 unassigned people right now. So let's get all of you working in the farmhouse. And while we're talking about farmhouses, let me also go ahead and get another one. I'm sort of thinking that a farmhouse maybe right out here would be a bit of an idea, just so it's a bit closer to some of the fields. So we'll go for right about there, should be fine. And I think I'm going to do another one. I mean, this seems like a pretty good spot too, to be completely honest. So I think we go for a farmhouse right about there. And I might put some more fields around that at some point. I think that might be a good idea, but before we do, I'm probably going to put some trees into all of these spaces. But just some extra farmhouses to manage all of these fields. We'll get them all upgraded at some point. We have 45 living spaces. We have 38 families right now, so we have plenty of growth to do. I just want to make sure our food situation's okay. And I suppose we can lean into that a little bit. Let's give you guys, how much money have we got? 537. Let's give you guys some chickens out here, just to make sure that the surplus of eggs continues to be a thing. That's kind of important to me. So all of you guys have chickens. These guys, I don't really know. Looking at crafting materials, we're doing pretty good with leather right now. We are sitting on 50 shoes, so we should be exporting those at some point as well. So I mean, in terms of food, 217 eggs, 373 vegetables. I mean, we could just keep going crazy with the eggs production, I suppose. It seems like a really easy way to manage a food situation. It feels almost like cheating, I'm not gonna lie. It does feel a little bit like it's too easy, and I imagine it's gonna get balanced at some point very much in the other direction, which I'm worried about, but we'll deal with that if and when it comes about. Let's get ourselves another ox. Let's upgrade you to a small stable. Let's get a forester. Let's get a woodcutter, and that'll deal with the fuel situation. And this forester, I want to have you, just to start with, I'm going to have this guy go ahead and start filling in some of the gaps in the forest that we have. So I want to say, I don't need to do this, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to say for now, start filling in around those houses. It's completely unnecessary, but I want him to do that just because I want to start surrounding them with trees. Even if I am going to, you know, tear all of this out at some point, I want to surround it with trees. I think it's going to look really good. It's that simple. Now, let me see. Do we have any ale in here? We do. Has this upgraded? It has. Does that mean that I can now go and turn my brewery? No, I can't. Why not? What are you, what do you mean I can't upgrade it to a level 3 plot? Why can I not? Oh, it's tavern supply. What do you mean taverns? You're a brewery. I don't even, you know what? It doesn't matter. Quite a few of them actually seem to be unable to go to level 3 right now, which is a little bit weird. There we go. Get that brewery upgraded. Get that cobbler upgraded as well. And let's go for, I can't do the ones in front, unfortunately, but that's fine. That's 2. That's a start. That is 2 of my burgage plots going straight to level 3. Can I get the Fletcher to upgrade? Nope. That's all right. You know what? I'm not really worried about it. We only need 3 for the next level, which is completely fine. So if I can get you, for example, which I think, honestly, I'm going to go with this one because I'm going to try and surround the space in front of the tavern with level 3 plots. That's going to be the next level for this little settlement, which is great. I can do this one as well. I can do this one as well. I can't do this one because we don't have the roof tiles, but I'm sure we'll get those in no time at all. And it might actually be really easy to get this place to level up. I'm starting to get the feeling that I might be able to do this a lot easier than I was expecting. I also don't have the money to level it up anymore. That's going to be the bigger problem. So trade is, I think trade is going to be something we have to lean into a lot more. So let's go ahead and put people to work in the trading post. That leaves us 2 unassigned workers, but it should hopefully mean that they move around a bit better and they get things set up. Let me see. Does it tell me what they do? So when employed, a family member travels to the nearest possible destination to conduct trade, while the other family members help manage the inventory. If needed, assigned families will set up stalls to sell imported goods. Yes, so the trading families do exactly what I thought they do, which is basically maintain the inventory at the trading post. So that's absolutely perfect. That's what we want them to do. And we did also level this place up, which is amazing news. So I feel like going for bakeries makes sense. We could go for orchardry. We absolutely could. We have a couple more levels to go. I think we get 2 more levels. So we could get basically bakeries and then go orchardry and irrigation if we wanted to. It's going to be a bit of a repeat of Nerdenfeld, but that's fine. We've kind of cornered ourselves in that way. It would be nice to double the capacity of berry deposits. I think that'd be great for this little region, especially with the rich berry deposit, but I mean, we're already going in this sort of direction, so I'm going to grab bakeries, and I'm going to say that pretty much immediately we want to change you. I can't afford it, never mind. I was hoping I could change this guy out for a bakery. Not that we actually have any windmills right now anyway, so that might, you know, also be wishful thinking, but we'll see what happens. At the very least, we do have more people working down here, so hopefully we're going to see, and we do now see a bunch of shoes in storage, so those should get exported in a decent amount of time, I would hope. And I guess, let's see, we have 50 living spaces, we have 42 families, so we still have a lot of growth to go here as well. We're sitting on 20 months of food, 8 months of fuel, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and get, I'm going to say give me 2 more woodcutters just to make sure that everyone in this area is supplied with everything they're going to need. And it doesn't look like my foresters are doing anything over here. I say foresters, it's like one guy, right? Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Winter came in pretty quickly. I don't imagine it's a good idea to start, you know, planting trees at the height of winter. So we'll assume it was something to do with that. And speaking of planting things, let's actually just lay out some new roads around this this new farmhouse right here, because we can sort of cut right down through the woods towards this existing road, which seems like a pretty good idea. We could probably do similar over here. So we'll sort of go up past this guy, and I mean, we can't really cut through the woods on this one, but that's okay. We can sort of head down in this general direction and just go straight towards the end of the region, which is fine. And I guess I'm slightly tempted to say that maybe we come in here and we do something. I don't know if I need to do this. I don't know if I want to do this, but I want to just sort of surround this little stone quarry thing with a bit of a path like that. I think it's pretty good. And then I kind of want to do more fields. I don't need them. I absolutely don't need them, but I just like the idea of surrounding that space with a few more fields. So we'll come in around like this. We'll head over towards this road and do that. And I think we'll also go ahead and say, I don't know how this field's going to look or how it's going to work, but I'm going to say that we want a road that sort of curves up this way, curves around this way, and does that. So that'll be a pair of new fields right there. I don't know if I want fields around that farmhouse. I think just filling in that space should be completely fine. Although, looking at it, I could probably play around a little bit with something like this. If I brought a path up here, we could maybe do a little field sort of, and it will be a very, very small field, but just a little field kind of in behind the farmhouse. That's probably not going to hurt. And then we can come off of here as well. We can come around and we'll just do a little field sort of in here as well. So that'll give us what, 4 little fields, one of them particularly small, and that'll be all right. So we'll go into construction, we'll go into farming, we'll go to field, and we'll say that this is going to be set up just like so. And that is perfect. This one's going to be set up. This one might not work all that nicely, but we'll find out together is what we'll do. So 2 there, and up to there. It's a very small field, but I'm okay with it. This one's going to be set up to go the entire way around this space, which is 1.1 Morgan, and this one is going to be set to go around this space, and that is 0.9 Morgan. And there we go. I think that looks okay. This could also be, if these could both be fields actually, which I like the idea of doing, but I also really like the idea of just having these trees in here. So I'm going to stick with the trees. I'm going to have to use and abuse my foresters to make these look even better, but we'll get there. For the time being, let's do barley, and then we'll go into wheat. Let's do, you know what? Let's do flax on this one and go into barley just to be a bit different. Let's do wheat into, you know what? We'll do wheat into nothing, into barley. And then this one's going to be nothing into wheat and into barley. And that'll be just fine. Again, we don't have the people to run all of this. That's completely fine. That's completely normal. I'm well aware of that. The idea is that we just keep growing this population and eventually we max out those farmhouses. Now, I had a feeling I didn't have people working in this forester's hut. Let's get you sorted out so we can start repopulating the trees in here. And then looking down here, you are doing just fine. You are 1 person as well, so let's get you sorted out so we can sort those trees nicely as well. I think you are, you know what, I think we will just sort of keep you working up here. I'm going to make sure you're actually positioned on the road though, so that it doesn't try and, I don't know if clicking on a building gets weird or not when you try to assign an area. I've really got no idea, so we'll see if it makes any kind of difference. We'll see if trees start popping up out here. It looks like, I mean, you're a forester. You're a forester as well. Yeah, they're working. Okay, it was probably just because it was winter. I was getting very judgmental over something that's perfectly normal. It doesn't make sense to plant trees in winter. Now, in other news, we've got 3 more level 3 burgage plots coming in right here. And we actually need more level 2 burgage plots as well. So let's get a few upgrades to those going on just to make sure that we can get this next upgrade to the town. We apparently don't have the timber, which is a bit of a worry. We do have a lot of planks though. So yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be okay on that particular front. This is gonna look good though, I think. Just having all of these level 3 plots with a little market right in front, a tavern right in front as well that has a regular supply of ale, even if it is bankrupting the settlement a little bit. Actually, you know what? Speaking of bankrupting and, you know, things to do with money, how's Nerdenfeld doing right now? 131,000 regional wealth. That's wild. That's so good. I'm so pleased with Nerdenfeld, I'm not gonna lie. And people aren't particularly upset here either. I mean, there's a few people that are dissatisfied, but for the most part, they're actually quite thrilled. Which is just amazing. Why am I, hold on, do we have any ale here in Nerdenfeld? We don't. Why are we not importing it? We have the funds, right? We absolutely can afford to import ale. And we are importing it. We're just aiming for 50. Okay, let's aim for like, I don't know, 100. And see if that helps Nerdenfeld be a little bit happier. It also seems like we have 10 unassigned workers, so you know what? Let me also just come in here and build another storehouse, because I think they could use it. I don't know if they care. I don't know if they need it, but whatever. We'll head back to, what is it? Where is it? There it is. That's not it. That's Nerdenfeld. There's what I'm looking for. You can press T to swap between all your towns and regions, and eventually it finds the one that you're looking for, so we got there in the end. We also have the level 2 plots that we wanted, which is great. We do not have the level 3 plots that I was looking for, though. We need 2 more of those. So let me upgrade you to level 2. Let me upgrade you to level 3. And let me upgrade you to level 3 as well. And that should mean that we get to upgrade the entire town and get another little perk, which is going to be orchardry, which I'm actually kind of looking forward to. I think getting some apples in here will be pretty great for the place. I think we might need some larger yards for orchards, which might be something to consider. I guess we could build them out here. I don't think I'm against building them out here. I think what we'll do is get this corner. We'll come back a little bit. I don't want to be too crazy on how large these burgage plots are going to be, but I think we can have a little bit of fun right here towards the edge of the region. So we'll do this and then come straight down at the border, which is a little bit silly looking, but it's okay. We'll not worry too much about it. And that's basically where I'm going to build some orchards. And it also looks like my foresters are doing a great job around here, which is a shame because I'm going to have to move them because I'm literally about to build some orchards here. So let's just put my foresters to work in this space, so that at the very least we can surround everything with trees. And there it is, we've leveled up again, which means we are going to go into orchardry, and it means that we need another 5 level 2 plots and another 5 level 3 plots to max this place out, which I'm very excited about doing. We will definitely get there in no time at all, but for now, let me do something like this. That seems pretty good. Do I want to make these smaller? I don't know if I do. So it's what, 6 or 5? I could do this, which is expandable. So that would give me 3 plots, but those could be expanded into having 6 families in total because we have the little expansion space. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if it makes sense to have the larger plots there. I mean, if I bring this down, how many was it? No, that's the wrong way. So it's basically, so it's basically 6 burgage plots or 3 burgage plots with room to grow. Yeah, we're just going to do that. I don't know if 6 individual orchards would make more sense in this situation, but we're going to just see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bring that down to, yeah, I'm sort of okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. Go ahead and build it. Enemy unit's been spotted. Where? Right there. Oh, that is going to be coming through this space. Okay. Well, in that case, let me rally the troops as we usually do. We'll bring them in here. which might take a second, but we should, and we do. Ooh, I don't like the look of that. I do not like the look of that at all. Let's see. So they're coming straight from my my farms. I'm just gonna move all of my guys into that space as quickly as I can, if they would. Guys, yeah, guys, would you move? Whoa, what are you doing? What are you? Oh my God. What are my troops? What do you guys do? Where are you going? Where are you going? Go that way. They're setting my farms on fire. What are you? Oh my God. Get in there. Go. I don't care about the roads. Just go. Just get in there and deal with them. Okay, please don't. Okay, hold on a minute. Line up here. We're good. Okay, we pushed them back, which is great. My archers are just absolutely annihilating them, which is amazing news. Okay, and that one is hopefully going to be broken back as well. There we go. Okay, that was I don't like that. I don't like that. Get back to Nerdenfeld, you useless. I don't. Oh God, I have not. This game hasn't stressed me out that much yet. That's a new experience for Manor Lords. I don't like it. Do not like that at all. Oh man. Okay, let me select all of you. You guys can get out of here. Go back to doing whatever you want to do. These plots up here are slowly coming together, which is fine. You know what I'm thinking I might do is actually go ahead and do this. So we have a straight little shot across there. Once the game figures out what it's doing, there we go. So a straight shot across there. And I think I'm also going to do a little straight shot back this way, just because I can. And I'm somehow going to try to connect this all together. So you want to go out here. Actually, you want to probably come in like this first and then go that way. And then we'll go sort of up and around, connecting it to this corner, which seems great. And then we have this corner right here. And you are going to come down sort of this way. And this should be some decent space for some more burgage plots as well. I think this one's just going to connect to that road, which might give us some weird space for burgage plots in here, but honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. And it's not really encroaching too much. I mean, it is very close to that berry deposit, but I don't think we've done any damage to it yet, which is great. So I can get some burgage plots in there. I can probably move this. In fact, I think I will move this forager onto sort of the back road there. That seems like a much sort of better place for it. So the forager can go out there. This hunting camp can move sort of out there as well, which I think is probably a great idea. So we'll move both of those off that main road. I can absolutely line this road with burgage plots, really pushing that population a little bit. That's also a fun bit of alliteration, pushing the population. I like that. I do. I like that's some good alliterations, what that is. Anyway, let me see. Can I upgrade more of you guys to level 2? I absolutely can. We'll just sort of go down the line. Can I upgrade all of you? Looks like I absolutely can, which is fantastic, except for the last guy. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. I knew we weren't going to have enough timber to just the last one, but it shouldn't be too difficult. We've got 3 timber right now. If we can get 1 more, there it is. We can upgrade you as well. So that'll be all the level 2 plots that we need for what I think is actually the last level that we can get, a large town. So that'll be all right. And then what was it? 5 more level 3 plots? Okay. It looks like we can do that as well. I think we're just going to need more timber. I've also just remembered that apple orchards are 50 gold each. They are not cheap at all, but I feel like they're absolutely going to be worth it. We can also expand the living spaces on these guys immediately, which seems like a great idea. We don't have the timber to do all of them, but that's completely fine. We also have 11 unassigned families right now. So I think what I'm going to do is come out this way, upgrade this with a plowing station, upgrade you with a plowing station, and then once those are done, we can get more people working in the farms. I also kind of feel like I'm sort of tempted to do another field in here. I think I'm going to do a little one, because I do want rid of this tree, and I want rid of that tree for a very specific reason. So I'm going to do a weirdly shaped field here that sort of hugs that, just hugs that forest on the right. Because if I go in here and I do build this field, the reason I'm doing this is because I can also get a windmill and place it. If I turn off snap to roads, I'm hoping I can place it in here, which apparently I can't. Do I not have the timber? I don't have the timber for it. That makes sense. All right. So once we get the timber, once we get one more log, there we go. Can I build this thing in here? I sort of can. I can also build it sort of right on the roads. Where do I want to build it though? So we have the farmhouse there. I'm kind of thinking here. I'm sort of thinking right about there is going to be our spot for the windmill. So we'll build it right there. It gets rid of that tree. It's going to be nice and efficient. We have this field right here, which pushed the tree line back as well. And you know what? We'll do fallow this year. We'll do flax next year. We'll do wheat the year after. That'll be totally fine. So that seems good. This thing's being upgraded as well, which is still waiting on some timber. This guy is waiting on some timber as well. Logistics might be holding us back a little bit. Let's get another ox, and let's also assign 2 people to work in those stables. Let's get, we have 2 people working in that stable. I'll tell you what, we've got 10 unassigned people. We can finally go ahead and just max out the storehouse, which seems like a great idea. I'm not going to max out the granary. Well, you know what? I am going to max out the granary. We can absolutely do that. So we've maxed out both of those guys. The logging camp is maxed out. The forester's good. The malt house isn't. We'll get 1 person working in there. The woodcutters are fine. The tannery is fine, and the trading post is fine as well. So that's good. That puts us in a really good spot for all of my industry. This little market still has 6 free stalls, which is very exciting news. And I think I have enough money to come down here and get my orchards on all of these burgage plots, which again is fantastic news. So can I also come in here and get them their expanded living spaces? I totally can. So that'll be a bunch more people coming out here to live. They can work in the orchards. They can do whatever they want to do. That'll be another source of food. We're up to 9 months of fuel supplies, down to 17 months of food supplies, but I'm kind of liking this. I'm thinking we're making some pretty good progress. I also realized that half the reason that we do have so many workers is because of the fact that I moved the forager's hut and the forester as well, or the hunter. So let's just max these guys out. We have a bunch of living spaces. We're going to be seeing people move in here in no time at all. So we're not going to have builders for a little while, but we will have people immediately going to work in the hunting camp. We'll immediately have people in the forager's hut. I think that's the way to go. These guys will fill out eventually. They'll get their upgrades. That's going to put us in a really good spot. And I think honestly, this place is just in general in a really good spot. We need 5 more level 3 burgage plots. We don't have the planks for it, which is, I don't want to say that's concerning, but it makes me wonder if the joiner is maybe doing a lot with the planks right now. Not the end of the world though. Absolutely not the end of the world. As long as we have some money here, we can keep the trade going, we can keep the food going. I'm not really too concerned. Okay, so something I'm noticing is that we are starting to struggle a little bit with timber. So it's probably not a bad idea to get ourselves another logging camp, and I'm considering building it out here. I don't think this would be a terrible spot for it. We don't actually have any timber right now, but this seems like it would be a good place for it. I could build it out here as well. I have been setting my foresters to do work out this way. I could build it in here actually. That would be kind of a cool spot. It's almost like it was perfectly built for it. So you know what? I think that's exactly where I'm going to try and build this thing once I have the timber to do it, which might be, well, it's not going to be a struggle. I just don't know what we're consuming crazy amounts of timber for. We're up to 1. Can I get a second one? That's the important question. We have one log in storage right now. If I can get another one, I can build this guy and then we can get a bunch more. So if they wouldn't mind just moving that into storage, there we go. I think that's a good place. I do. I think that's going to be a great place for it. We have my foresters doing work in here to surround all these places. And speaking of all these places, let's let's get some more burgage plots. Let's just expand a little bit further since we have got the, well, we don't have the resources to do it. Actually, I don't know why I'm trying to get ambitious here, but that I think will look really cool if and when we get around to actually building this. We can get ourselves 9 new plots in there. I've marked out sort of a little triangle here. I'm not going to build plots in because I think a market in there would be a great idea. But then can I can I do this? Is this gonna be at all possible? Where's the corner that I'm looking for? Right there. What does that look like? That is wild. That's 14 plots. This one over here is going to be a vegetable garden. Let me tell you that right now. That one is 100% going to be a vegetable garden. I don't care what anybody says. It's a lot of timber though. That is an awful lot of timber. So let's make you a priority so we can hopefully get that going nice and quickly. Let's get this forester to, I don't know where else I want you to work, honestly. I guess it doesn't really matter because all of this is going to get taken out. I mean, up here wouldn't be terrible. Start, you know, really making some dense tree lines up that way. We could go over here and do it. I am just doing this mostly for the aesthetics, to be clear. It is completely unnecessary, but I think, you know what? Yeah, let's start filling in that space with some trees as well. We're up to 16 timber as well. So does that mean I can I get these guys at least? Is that going to be enough for those? No, it's going to be 22 timber for these plots. If I bring this down, it is actually possible. There we go. Let's absolutely do that. We'll get a bunch more people in here. I think it's going to look great. If we come along this way, we have 11 out of 15 required level 3 burgage plots. These guys need timber and planks to be upgraded, so that's going to take a little while. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I think we can probably go ahead and leave it there for today. I think we can also assign, just before we do, we can also go ahead and start assigning some livestock to these logging camps to make it a little bit quicker. We could assign livestock, I think, to a saw pit as well. I don't think we need to do that. I think that would be maybe a little bit of a waste, but at the very least, we should end up with a whole lot of timber coming through. We are absolutely going to need these foresters to do work down here to maintain all these trees, but we're sitting on 1,500 regional wealth. We have 19 months of food, 11 months of fuel, a bunch more burgage plots coming in, a whole bunch of timber starting to get stockpiled as well. So we'll fill in this entire space. You know, this giant one on the side might end up just being an orchard as well. I don't know if orchards are affected by the size of the plot the same way that vegetable gardens are. I genuinely have no idea now that I think about it. So that might be worth experimenting with, to be quite honest, just to see how it works. But we'll see. Either way, it's gonna be a whole thing. It's gonna be great. The windmill's done as well, which is amazing news. Do we have any stuff in storage? Any wheat? No, we don't. Okay, well, we'll get the windmill working anyway. We're hopefully going to push this population up really, really well, like I've said before. So we'll get people working in the farmhouses too. That'll get all of these fields doing their thing. And then this little region is basically going to be, I don't want to say completely self-sufficient. It is pretty much already self-sufficient. I think we're still importing bread here and there, but we are so close to being able to just make our own bread. I can almost taste it. And with that cliche out of the way, we're going to leave it there for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.